Hey guys, should I flip or should I wholesale? Awesome question. If you've been following along, this is week 4. I'm technically 26 days into marketing. We launched our fix and flip business in a market that is not my home. We are looking to acquire properties that we are direct to seller on, that we can renovate and resell for a profit without ever actually setting foot on them. That is virtual flipping. It's not flipping fake land in the whatever sphere. These are real properties that we're actually acquiring, renovating, and reselling for a profit. Today I want to talk about when to flip and when to wholesale. It's going to depend like anything, it depends what your goals are, right? How big of a team do you have or do you want? Where are you trying to get? Do you love your full-time job? Are you doing this part-time on the side? What's your world look like? But generally speaking, why would I flip? Why would I wholesale? And if you're following along, I'm going to go through our KPI update at the end of this, and I'm going to tie back together the difference between if we wholesale the deals that we got or if we flip them. So, put some real numbers to this, but generally speaking, do I flip or do I wholesale? Why do we love wholesale? We love wholesale because it is the fastest cash back in our pocket after we spend marketing dollars. It is the lowest risk. What are we doing when we're wholesaling? For anyone new here, wholesaling, my buyer is a fix and flipper. They're going to take the lion's share of the profit. They deserve it. They're taking the risk. They're wrapping up capital. They're getting into the project, having to renovate it and then resell it for a profit. And because they're exposed a little longer, they're in that project for a while, they're at the mercy of changes in the market, right? So that is your flipper. But sometimes it's worth it for us to take on those risks and take that down ourselves, right? So how do we decide what we want to do? Do we flip it or do we wholesale it? I wrote down 5 key things that I think are really important. Flip versus wholesale. Number 1, did I get it as a price where I can do either? Have to know how to underwrite your deals, guys. If you don't know how to comp and find a true ARV, find good buyers. Let your buyers put a number on it for you. But sometimes you can't get a property enough. If you're in a highly competitive market, you can't negotiate a good enough discount that'll actually give you an option to wholesale it. You're going to get beat out by the buyer you'd be selling to. They're just going to be able to come in, because you're whittling out what they need to make minus repairs, down from ARV minus their selling costs, realtor commissions, all that stuff. And then you're throwing your profit on there as well. If you want to make 15 grand on a deal, they could pay 15 grand more than you can. Who's going to win that deal? End buyer all day long. So sometimes you don't have a choice. The deal is going to make that decision for you. But if you can whittle it down to give yourself options, then, that is your number 1. Did I get it at a price where I have options? We always like options, guys. Your situation changes. It's going to be easier when you have more options to exit. Do I have the ability to actually flip? If you're newer in your journey, you don't have a contractor relationship, you don't have a realtor relationship, you don't have capital or the ability to raise capital or hard money relationships or some type of funding in place, you don't have the ability to manage the project when it's ongoing, that may make the decision for you, right? If you can't do that, wholesaling probably makes more sense. Do I need the cash now? It costs money to run your business. We spend money on marketing. That's how we generate these leads. To date, as you could see up in the corner there, we spent almost $16,000 on these leads. Need to refill that bucket to keep the business going. That's not even the full expense because I have team members, I have salaries, I have software, I have other stuff. That's literally just the direct marketing spend. So if you need the money back in your business, it probably makes more sense to wholesale. Why? Because the cash conversion cycle on a flip, from the time you spend the dollars marketing to get that lead to when you locked it up in contract, closed on it, did the renovation, listed it with a realtor, your end buyer, which is a retail buyer, actually got their funding and reclosed on this thing and you got paid. It depends what kind of projects you're getting into. We run our numbers based on a 4-month cash conversion cycle. We usually can come in underneath that, but if you need the cash right now, wholesale it. Can I assign it to myself? Awesome question. This is where you get to double dip. I did this in another episode, how I get paid to buy deals. I'll give you the link down below on that episode. But if you're smart, you'll have two entities set up. One is your forward-facing marketing entity. One is your fix and flip entity. You will actually lock it up in your marketing entity. Your other entity will buy it. You can pay yourself an assignment fee on that. You could double dip and get both. That is the best of both worlds, guys. That is what we do most of the time. We don't want to leave money on the table, right? I want to take that profit for myself on both the wholesale and the fix and flip. And number 5, what's the state of the market going to be when I plan to list this property? Guys, we don't have a crystal ball. We can't truly predict that, but we can pay attention to the news. We can reduce our exposure. We can try and only get into projects instead of full gut renos on 5,000 square foot homes. We could stay under 2,000 square foot. We could get into cosmetic renos. We could get in and out of stuff quicker. We can do what I do and stay in the median price point markets. We like that price point. It doesn't fluctuate as much when things happen in the economy. So you can limit your exposure, but pay attention to what is happening. You know, this is an election year. Is that going to affect things? I don't know. We will figure that out more. We will follow the data regularly and we'll see, you know, is there more inventory coming to the market? Is there a big developer in town about to list a bunch of properties? Are days on market going up? If you don't have a good realtor relationship, you should be having these conversations regularly. But that is number 5. But guys, we're always looking for best and highest. When you run your calculators, run both. Give yourself options. That is how we decide if we were going to flip or if we were going to wholesale. Let's get into the actual KPIs now. So, like I said, let's see, can I expand this thing? Yeah, let's just put it mostly in front of my head, right? Alrighty. Looking at the numbers, like I said, 26 days in, our average over that time frame, we are at 4.69 leads per day. Total leads 122. Cost per lead $130. Contracts, only 2 actually signed. I have 2 more out. One of them there is an attorney going through. The other one, the gentleman is at work. If you're not doing your offer calls and sending contracts when you're actually with the phone on your seller, you're leaving money on the table. We will do this call when the seller is home from work. We anticipate this getting signed tonight. Cost per contract. So where we are right now, we're at almost $7,500 per contract, right? But I have another 12 offers out there. Of those 12 offers, like I said, I anticipate about 2 of those contracts to get signed today. And I'd say at least one of those additional. We have realtors, and contractors going to the homes to see them, to see if the numbers make sense. Sometimes we lock it up and we do that after. Sometimes we cancel those contracts. Sometimes we renegotiate. It's all on a case by case. But I ran side by side numbers, assuming those other 2 get locked up and then at least 1 more off of what we've already generated right now. Not anything new coming in. Look at how our numbers change, right? Cost per contract goes down just under 3,000. That's where we want it to be. Leads per contract. This number is gross, guys. This means we should probably not be in business. Being down around that 24, pretty happy with that. That's a gross leads. If I went net, right? If I took out the total shit leads, it actually gets much better. This is part of doing business though. You're going to have leads that are absolute shit. There's nothing you could do with them. We're spending a lot of money for these leads as inbound. So like of that 15 grand we spent, 52%. So we just threw away $7,500. I don't care. I care about at the end of the day, what is my cost per contract? With that 5 contracts, assuming they all close, we're at just under 3 grand. What is my profit per deal? Luckily, we hit one out of the park here, guys. We have one that's going to be over 100 grand. This is not normal. I can't run my long-term projections off of that, but we'll see things start to average out as we look at these other 3 contracts. What do we come down to? An average profit per deal. Oh, this number's not right. What do we got here? So we'll do equals projected profit, that divided by deals, that one. All right, there we go. I expect it to be lower than that, in all honesty, over time. You know, this would be only off, this is a small sample size. This is basically 1 month sample size. Over the course of a year, I anticipate we'll come down closer to the 30 because we will be wholesaling some and we will be fixing and flipping some. Why? Because with this kind of marketing spend, we're going to need to refill the pipeline. Got salaries, got marketing, we got our general OpEx. So we will not be actually making this full 271 because there's a couple we're just going to have to assign. I anticipate probably a 50-50. Obviously, we'll take down the juicier ones. There's no way in hell we are assigning that 100K plus one, to make a quick 30 grand. 30 versus 100, I'll wait on that one. We'll bring some money back in on something else. Now, let's compare. If we were to wholesale these deals, what does our business look like? Cost per contract doesn't change. At 2, we're at almost 7,500. At 5, we're at about 3 grand. Assuming an average profit per deal on a wholesale of 15K. Going to vary by your market, going to vary by your price points. In this market, I think this is a reasonable number. Let's look at our ROI difference, right? On those 2 contracts, we're under 2. So for every dollar I spend, I get 2 back. Profitable, yes. At scale, not a good number. Don't like that because realistically, this is not taking into account. Look, if you're a one-man show and this is what you're doing a month, are you stoked on that? 100%, right? If you spent 15 and got 30 back, you're still profitable. 15 grand. If you already have a full-time job, like I said, this is part-time. Are you stoked on another 15 grand to your bottom line? 100%. To get up to this number, you probably have a team. There's probably base salaries, commissions, et cetera, et cetera. You're still almost a 5X. Do we like that? Yes, but look at the difference. A 17X versus a 5X. Balance it out, guys. Go through those 5 questions. Ask yourself, do I flip or do I wholesale? And if you guys are wholesaling virtually, let me know in the comments. Love to see what challenges you're having. Let's, maybe we'll do a live for a future episode. But if you like what you're seeing, please comment below and give a follow. I'll be doing these probably weekly now. Thank you.